Hi, my name is John Four. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TrustLayer. We've built a collaborative risk management platform that helps companies track and validate insurance and other compliance information for their vendors and tenants. When I look at these buildings, I see potential, I see opportunity. I also see millions of dollars at risk. You see, 75% of companies in the US are underinsured and don't have the right insurance coverage. These are your vendors that are going into your buildings. See, the problem is process today to track certificates of insurance, W-9s, and other compliance information stinks. It's terrible. The challenge is that when you get these paper documents, you don't even know if the information is authentic, if the documents themselves are real. And then, two, just because someone, for example, had insurance coverage doesn't mean that they still have coverage today. So the accuracy is challenging to keep track of. What's crazy is that no one is doing anything about it. And yet the size of this problem is truly massive, 200,000 times a day. Companies have to track or share insurance information 200,000 times a day. And the fraud is immense too. You've got $40 billion of fraud related to insurance outside of health insurance. That this is the state of the situation today should make us all furious. That's where TrustLayer comes in. See, we've built this collaborative risk management platform that will help you easily add your vendors, your tenants, your borrowers, any of the counterparties that you're working with, and track the compliance information that you need to request from them. Our system will send them an email. They'll come to a landing page and see whatever the requirements are, and they simply just drag and drop documents into our platform. And then our robots get to work to try to identify what those documents are, to extract information from them, and compare them to whatever the requirements are at each of your buildings. So, for example, in one case, we had a customer that came to us that was actually non-renewed by their carrier because they were not tracking that their vendors actually had the right coverage. When there was a claim, their carrier had to pick up the bill, and instead of the vendor who was responsible in this case, and that company ultimately got non-renewed. When TrustLayer was brought into the mix, the carrier loved TrustLayer so much they actually, one, they agreed to reinstate coverage for this customer. And then two, they actually made a subjectivity to the policy because it was a great way to actually have contractual risk transfer. With another customer of ours, with only 40 vendors, we learned that one of his vendors was committing good old-fashioned insurance fraud, just simply lying about the fact that they had coverage. And unfortunately for him, when he learned that this vendor was committing insurance fraud, he also learned that vendor had caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage. Just two small instances of the fraud or the challenges we've seen in keeping track of this information. And that's what we're doing today. But the big play for us is to actually have a digital proof of insurance instead of pushing around hundreds of millions of pieces of paper. Wouldn't it be fabulous if there was a way for that vendor that's going to get access to your building to show in real time that they have the requisite coverage? Not a document that said 6 months ago, but right there at that exact moment that they have sufficient coverage to get access to that building. That's what we're working on. And also, it's a great way for you to be able to validate and track on an ongoing basis in case that party ever cancels their coverage while you're requiring them to have the requisite coverage. This is a massive problem and a really big challenge. And thankfully, we don't have to do it by ourselves. We're working with some of the largest carriers and brokers in the insurance industry. And in fact, with our last financing round, more than 20 of the largest brokers in the country actually invested in TrustLayer. We're getting the industry behind us to actually solve this massive problem. And that's where we'd love for you guys to participate as well. As we move forward with more digital proof of insurance pilots with these largest carriers and brokers, the property management industry is really important. And we'd love for you to have a seat at the table to decide what are the best workflows that meet your requirements. Again, my name is John Four. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TrustLayer. And we'd love for you to reach out and participate in some of these proof of concepts that we're doing with these large carriers. Thank you very much.